A little bit longer. The airline has lost the pilot's luggage. Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352-861-7484. That's 352-861-7484. Hey, you've earned it. Call today.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We hear a lot in the news about mental illness, and I think as a society, we are starting to learn what mental illness is and how to identify the different types of mental illnesses. And at one time, we almost kind of categorized everything as one, and we often would usher people who we thought had mental illness into institutions, and that turned out to be a bad idea. Naomi Baron-Katz is on the phone. She is a survivor of mental illness. She's a journalist. She's a member of the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which is also known by its acronym of NAMI. I believe she's been with us before, right, yes. Robin? She's been with us before. One of her books is called Surviving Mental Illness. I think that was when she was on last time, right?
Yes.
And so I wanted to make sure we talk about that a little bit. It's a very short interview today. But she's written a children's book called Peter and Lisa, a mental illness children's story. Good morning, Linda. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Flushing, New York.
From Flushing?
Queens.
Oh, I hope I get up there this week. I'm going next week, and I want to take my son over to City Field.
Oh, it's beautiful there.
Yeah,
I love Flushing Meadows Corona Park.
Yeah. Are you how are you doing now?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
The book you were on last time, Surviving Mental Illness, how did the book do?
The book is doing all right.
Okay.
I wish I could get more on sales.
Yeah.
And do more marketing and publicity.
Well, you're doing a little bit.
Interested to read it.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a little bit right now by being on the radio with us. Do you think that sometimes we call... okay, here's the thing I don't understand about mental illness. And I was kind of touching on it when I was asking about how well your book was doing. Because I often wonder, do we sometimes have mental illness because things don't work out the way we want them to? For example, let's say you write a book and nobody buys it. You get really depressed, or you, I don't know, you sign up for to be part of an organization and they say, I'm sorry, you don't qualify. Or the exact opposite. We do very well and suddenly we're making a lot of money and we feel like we're important in the community. Do those things contribute to our mental health, whether it's for the good of our mental health or for the negative?
Oh, yes. It contributes a lot. I've gone through many challenges. I lost both of my parents, and that was traumatic for me, losing both of them. And because I was really dependent on my parents for a lot of things. And to lose them, it was like losing a part of my soul. So I was really depressed when that happened.
Did you get professional help?
Yes, I did. When I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, my parents sent me to my mother's psychiatrist.
Okay.
And because my mother was the first person in our family to be diagnosed with a mental illness.
And she had a nervous breakdown?
Yes, she did.
So, okay, I know that mental illness is not contagious in the same way that the flu is, but do you think it's sometimes contagious in a different way? Just by, if you're around somebody who is paranoid, for example, can you become paranoid?
It's possible because genetics plays a major role.
What does?
And not just genetics alone, also the environment plays an important part.
Okay.
So both of them
So
could have an extreme impact.
with such a short interview, I have to jump all over the place a little bit. Who are Peter and Lisa patterned after in the children's book?
Well, I think they're patterned after, like, when I was 10 years old, I knew nothing about mental illness.
No.
And I didn't understand what my mother was going through.
Right.
So with Peter and Lisa, Lisa has a 7-year-old daughter named Nancy, and Peter has a dog named Pitt, and they're both affected by Peter and Lisa's mood changes, their emotional symptoms, and, you know, Lisa was just 7 years old.
Okay.
I mean, and she cried a lot because her mother was acting pretty strange.
So that's not you? Is that you?
Well, I guess I could be Nancy when I was 10, and my
Okay.
mother was the one that was acting really strange.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This
So-
had to have been very hard for you to write because you had to draw on your memories from that time, and some might not have been too nice.
Yes, some of them were not too nice, and, you know, my parents spoke about divorce and fought a lot because my mother wouldn't take her meds, and it was a really rough time. And so
are children learning about mental illness through the children's book? Is that the idea?
that's the idea. You hit it right on the nail, because I want children to understand, as well as their parents. It's a book that parents should read to their children, especially if their child is 5 or 6 years old. And it's not meant to be scary for the child. It's written in their own language so that they'll be able to understand it. And it's has sense of humor into it. So I make it really educational, but fun at the same time.
Are you still on medication since you were diagnosed with your bipolar?
Yes, I am.
And how?
My medications have changed through the years, but I am still getting treatment.
And now, when we have a child that needs medication, the adult in their life makes sure that they take that medication. But once that child grows up, how do you discipline yourself to keep on taking that medication as an adult? Isn't there a period where you might say, "Oh, I feel good, so I'm not going to take it anymore"?
There are sometimes when I do say that, but I know what will happen. I will get a relapse if I stop taking my medication. There is always that possibility. And there's also that possibility that you could become hospitalized again.
Oh.
And I decided that I did not want that. I hated being in the hospital. I only was there one time, and I hated it.
Yeah, nobody likes that. Can I ask a personal question? If it's not too, if I'm not going over the line, in the notes it does say that you felt like your romantic life may have been affected by whatever you were going through. Is that right?
Yes, it was very affected. What caused me to get mania was I had an infatuation over a boy, and I grew to an obsession, and one thing led to another. I started to hear his voices in my head, couldn't get him out, racing thoughts, and it hurt my relationship as a friend with him.
Oh, really?
And after I got diagnosed, it was even harder to find someone because in the Orthodox Jewish community, they are so stiff-necked, so biased, and, you know, men used to run away from me when I mentioned I had bipolar disorder.
Wow. Well, that happened to me too, but for a different reason. Linda, you are so brave to be out and in public and telling us all of these very personal things, but I think you're at the same time with your writing, you're helping people deal with things, because the reader, whether they're a child or an adult, will say, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one with this condition.
Yes, and that's what I really wanted to reach out to that audience, to those who had mental illness, who lost all hope, who don't know how to recover properly, to get them to know that recovery is possible. It's like starting life anew again, right from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the air with us to share this with us. The books are called, the children's book is called Peter and Lisa, a mental illness children's story, and the other book is called Surviving Mental Illness. Go get them online. The website that we have, Linda, is survivingmentalillness.net. Is that the only? Go ahead.
Hyphens in between.
Hyphen what?
Surviving-mental illness? Mental-illness?
Surviving-mental-illness.com.
Oh, okay. Surviving-mental-illness.com. Okay. Linda, thank you for being on the air with us, and you're always welcome back.
Thank you.
We love having you on. We'll take a little break, and we will be right back. Looking to put your money to work? Florida Credit Union has a CD special, 25 months for 1.41% APY with a $10,000 minimum. Federally insured by the NCUA, a government agency. These rates effective through September 30th. Subject to change at any time. Visit one of Florida Credit Union's convenient locations today or their website, flcu.org, or call 352-237-8222. Don't miss this 25-month CD special. Again, the APY is 1.41%. Act now.
Cookies, 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 cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. King Cookie in the Paddock Mall in Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. So next time you're in the mall, stop by King Cookie or call 352-237-2557. KingCookieOcala.com. Customized cookies, cakes, and more. King Cookie.
Eating cookies. We're so happy eating cookies. Cookies!
Are you in need of custom screen printing, embroidery, or promotional items? Then look no further and come visit the brand new Legacy Team Sales. LTS is conveniently located off 17th Street next to Armstrong Homes in beautiful Ocala. We offer the best prices and highest quality products for your company.